absolutely always a chance that Manny Pacquiao will return to boxing. There's always going to be a demand for him. You kind of hope that, he could find something else to do besides boxing, because he's given so much to the sport. But that's just the way that boxing is. It's very hard to resist that money. I mean, Floyd Mayweather Jr. was being offered crazy amounts of money, and he found ways through these exhibitions to still make money without taking too much punishment. You look at Lennox Lewis. For years after his retirement, he was being offered insane amounts of money to come back to fight Vitaly Klitschko again, because Vitaly Klitschko just wanted to get that win back. Boxing is irresistible to some people. The money, because you got a guy who's dangling a check saying, hey, here, I'll give you this much up front and for you to sign this contract, and then we'll get the ball rolling. And, when the money comes in, it's like opium almost. It's like it gets people high, and no one around the boxer wants to say, oh, no, I don't think it's a good idea. But all that would do is really just delay Pacquiao's inevitable Hall of Fame induction, because he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he's eligible for that. So I think he has nothing left to prove. I mean, everything there was to prove in boxing, he's done it. There's never going to be another Manny Pacquiao. Like a YouTuber, it would be great to see Manny Pacquiao not take a serious chance, at his age, and just sort of find a way to make money like the way that Floyd Mayweather has. There will be offers from the usual suspects in boxing who want to feed an older champion with a big name to a younger champion coming up, to build that guy's resume. So I don't want to see Pacquiao against Spence. I don't want to see Pacquiao against some of these guys, these guys coming up, because Manny doesn't need to be in those fights. It doesn't make sense for his legacy. The only reason it would make sense would be for money. And so if he was going to come back, let him do a Conor McGregor fight. People can just enjoy seeing him. If he had to do it, let him just come back and do something where he can just have a little fun and not really put himself at risk. Donaire is another person I believe is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has accomplished so much in the sport. The world champion at 112, 118, 122, and 126. And he fought everyone. There was no one that he ducked. He will go down as one of the most devastating punchers of his time. I think that it would be nice to see him have one farewell fight. I don't think he has to go out there and get hit anymore. Because you gotta remember, a lot of people thought he was done when he was beaten by Nicholas Walters. He was kind of seen as a guy who was sliding backwards, and he lost to Jesse Magdaleno, and then he went back to 118 and reinvented himself and looked devastating in all of his fights save for the ones against Inoue. And Inoue is, a great fighter in his own right. I think that this was just a matter of a huge puncher catching Donaire early on, and then, it's hard to recover when you get caught cold like that. And, Inoue never let him off the hook. This happens to great fighters, especially at the end. So I don't think it's a dismerit against Donaire. I think that time caught up to him, and he fought a great fighter who had a great plan and sharp counterpuncher with amazing punching power. That happens.